Hi, and welcome back again to another edition of Unfiltered. Um, I actually wanted to do a movie review this time around, but then I just saw something on Facebook, Michelle Rodriguez talking about minorities stealing the roles from white characters. That's been a topic recently in comic book movies and well, across the media, I would guess. And I'll be honest, I haven't even read the article yet, but it did make me think about something that I've been thinking about for a while. It's been an issue with the Superman series, with the movies, with the comic books, and for those who know me, I'm a huge Superman fan. I'm a super fan. Um, and I've heard the arguments back and forth, pro and against, casting minorities in famous roles of traditionally white Caucasian roles in comic books and in movies. Recently, about a year ago, 2 years ago, wow, 2 years ago, Man of Steel came out, and there was all of this controversy about Lawrence Fishburne being cast to play Perry White. Now, in the comics, uh, and in the new upcoming TV series Supergirl, an African American actor has been uh, cast to play Jimmy Olsen, who we know for years to be the redheaded freckle guy with the bow tie. Um, there was a little bit of people saying with Men of Steel how Lois Lane is not a redhead. Traditionally, she's been a brunette. Um, although, that's different, I would say, because girls are constantly changing the style of their hair, their color. Um, Noelle Neal was a redhead, and until people saw the show in color, Adventures of Superman, a lot of people didn't know that she was a redhead. Um, what's my take on it? All right. I don't live in the US. I lived in the US when I was little, so I was a minority for the minority of the time there. That makes any sense. Um, I don't live there anymore. So I guess I don't consider myself a minority, but I do understand, I'm Latino, I'm Hispanic, have tan skin, have dark hair, dark eyes. Um, so would I mind, or what would I mind seeing a Latino actor play a traditionally white character? Let's talk about specifically about Superman. All right, this is what I think. I don't know if I'm considered a purist when it comes to comic books, but I definitely grew up with comics and I love them. I grew up with Superman. I grew up with a bunch of sci-fi characters, comic book characters, and to me, I really don't see them as like black or white or Asian or whatever. I see them as the character. But also, those characters have been for a long time played or drawn a certain way. Um, so for me, Superman is this 6'4" tall white guy with black hair and blue eyes. Um, so that's the image I have in my mind for Superman. So if I saw someone else from a different ethnicity, let's say, play Superman, unless the entire production, the entire movie, the entire show, the entire comic book is choosing to go artistically in a completely different direction, um, I get distracted. When Men of Steel came out, I even posted on the Superman homepage, Facebook page, how I wouldn't mind if Lawrence Fishburne is actually Franklin Stern, covering for Perry White, as Perry White is traveling around the world covering the Superman story. Not that Lawrence Fishburne is not a great actor. I mean, he's a great actor. But because I grew up with a white Perry White. Um, One of my favorite incarnations has been the Lois and Clark adventures of the New Adventures of Superman. I love the way Perry was portrayed there. Um, some people didn't like the fact that he was a Southerner, and that he was an Elvis Presley fan. But I mean, still, he embodied the character. Um, so if they had from the beginning say, okay, Men of Steel, we're going in a completely different direction because this is the artistic vision that I have for the movie. So Perry White is going to be an African American. Lois Lane is going to be not a redhead, not a brunette, but let's say a nation girl, just for example. Um, Jimmy is not going to be Jimmy, but he's going to be Jenny. Um, we're going with a Latino Clark, and they shuffle things around, but completely all the characters. Then I would have said, you know what? Well, this is an artistic choice. They're choosing to move away from the visual perception that we have from a character, and they're really going for the person that is going to embody the characteristics of that character. So I wouldn't mind. But they go and they cast Superman in the traditional way that we perceive Superman, or that Superman is being drawn, or the way we see Superman, because they know, this is who Superman is, this is what he looks like. People need to recognize Superman. Then I would say, then let's respect all the characters. I don't have anything against casting minorities, um, but to me, because I'm a comic book fan, maybe a purist, um, it does distract me when I see a character, whether it's in the comic books and TV or a movie, um, where the character is different than what I'm used to. Again, nothing to do with race or discrimination, um, but it does distract me. Um, like I said, if this were the artistic choice they were making, then I could definitely agree with it and see it. Um, Let me put this example. You know Anne Hathaway, right? Beautiful girl. I don't know if you seen her sing Les Miserables and other examples. She's a great singer. She has a beautiful voice. She's a beautiful actress. And let's say we cast her to play the biopic, and she's going to be Beyonce in the Beyonce movie. She could definitely portray the characteristics. She can sing. She's attractive. But I don't know you, but wouldn't that distract you a little bit? It would distract me. Um, and the same way with other characters. For example, Lawrence Fishburne. He was Morpheus in The Matrix. He made that character live. And if, God forbid, they ever do a remake of The Matrix, and they cast someone just as talented, someone who we know is great, let's say Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, that dude can act. He's one awesome actor, and he could probably do things with the character of Morpheus that maybe we hadn't thought about before. But it would still be distracting because to me, Lawrence Fishburne made the character of Morpheus, so it would be distracting. I would be looking at Benedict Cumberbatch on the screen. I'll be like, all right, who's that again? Oh, Morpheus, right. I don't know. You see what I mean? So I think Hollywood is trying to compensate um, from years of only portraying white actors, but I think that when it comes to iconic characters, just let them be. We know them. I don't feel offended when I pick up a Superman comic book and all the main characters are white. I don't go like, well, this isn't realistic. Where are the Latino people in this comic book. Maybe they're in the background. Maybe they are people that live in the community. Um, they can become friends. Uh, you could reintroduce introduce new characters to comic books and to movies who are not white. You could introduce African Americans, new characters. You could introduce Latino actors, you know, to portray new characters created for the new millennium, let's say. But keep the iconic characters um, alone. I don't know if that makes sense or if you guys agree or you don't agree, but you get my point? That's what I'm trying to say. I don't feel offended when Hollywood portrays, um, certain stereotypes. If it's a comedy, I can kind of live with it. I think there are bigger issues going on in society to worry about whether a character looks the right part or not. But with iconic characters, let's respect them. We don't need to change them in order to feel better about ourselves or to try and get on the good side with minorities. I remember when Smallville came out and they introduced the character of Chloe. She did not exist in comic book canon. She did not exist in the movies. And she was such a sweet character and such a nice character that eventually she was introduced in the comics. So they could do the same thing, introduce a new person, a new character that is Latino, that is Asian, that is African American, whatever the nationality. And if it's a good character, it will stand the test of time, and they can become iconic characters in their own right. Um, Sam Jones III, he was the African American version of Pete Ross. I thought he did a great job. He was a likable character. The way he portrayed it, I guess he did embody what Pete Ross was. Um, and I thought he did a great job. He was one of my favorite characters on Smallville, um, because he portrayed the character rather well. But it was distracting. Um, I didn't like Lana, not because she was not the traditional redhead, because I thought she was like really, really pretty. She was cute, and I was like, wow, that's one cute Lana. I wasn't thinking like, wait, she's not a redhead. Um, but I didn't like the character, the way the character was written, the way the character was portrayed. The same with the character of Clark Kent. Towards the end, I didn't even finish watching the series because I didn't like the character, but he definitely looked the part of Clark Kent. I just didn't like the way that the character was being portrayed on those series. So the same goes for comic books, for movies, for TV shows. The most important thing when you're writing is to have a good character, a character that is relatable, a character that you care about, regardless of what they look like. But certain characters are iconic and they have a particular look to them. You identify with that look. Um, for example, I don't know you, but I think Hollywood thinks that for me, if I'm a Latino and they want me to pay a ticket to go see their movie, they gotta have a Latino character in the movie so I can connect with that Latino character because I cannot connect with a traditional white person. That's not the case, and I think one of um, the reason that Superman has been so iconic is that he transcends race, he transcends gender, he transcends religion, and you just see what the character represents regardless of what he looks like. He just so happens to be this white dude that we all see. Um, and I could go on forever and more examples like what if a great actor, like a great white actor like let's say Daniel Day-Lewis. The guy can play anything. He is so good. Um, or someone younger, more athletic. Um, let's say someone like Bradley Cooper's who or Chris Pratt, someone that is, is white, he's athletic, they're used to playing, action movies and they're very physical and they're very athletic. Let's say one of those guys plays Michael Jordan in the Michael Jordan movie. Wouldn't you get a little distracted? by seeing a white dude playing Michael Jordan. Um, they could definitely embody the characteristics, reenact the situations both on and off the court. But at the end of the day, that's not my call. So it's the same either way. So I think Hollywood, take it easy. Um, you're overthinking things, and I think you're taking us, the audience, for granted. I think you don't understand. You think we're that dumb. No, we're not that dumb. Um, the success of your show doesn't depend entirely on the look of the characters. At the end of the day, it's going to be whether you write a good show, you have good characters, great stories, and the actors can carry out the part. That's what's going to be um, the key factor. That's going to make the difference between your show being successful or not. Um, but if you're going to start paying attention to the race or the way certain characters look on the screen for the benefit of including um, other ethnicities in your show, then you're selling yourself short. You're selling ourselves short, the audience. We want to see good characters first. And if they're iconic characters, I want to see those characters, all right? You don't need to go changing them now. But that's my opinion. Um, I don't know. What do you guys think? You let me know. Comment below. Click the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook. Share. And, well, I hope to see you again soon sometime. And remember, always look up in the sky. I think I heard that one somewhere else.